Good afternoon, evening for me, actually, in Seattle, rock stars. Hey, traveling rock stars, it's Amara. I am here today to do the first ever tag on this channel and the first live stream, not the first tag on this channel, the first live stream on this channel. It's the TMI travel tag, which I discovered via a creator called When Flowers Fall. Her real name is Samantha Jones, so it says Samantha Jones, but her channel is under When Flowers Fall. Sorry about that, Samantha. And there's a series of questions. It was a whole lot of questions, and I've been really busy, so I thought it would be really fun to do that live. But before we get to that, I'm going to see if I can figure out how to send you all this link via Twitter. Let me see. Da-da-da. Checking it out here. I'm doing that thing you got to do with a live stream. I'm going to see if I can figure out. Send that. That's so you guys get to hear yourself in a loop. That's pretty crazy. But I am going to go ahead and grab the link for this and drop it into Twitter. And then we should be rocking and a-rolling. How have you guys been? How's your week been going? I have been having a crazy busy week, but a good week. A perfect week to be exploring the wide world of a perfect week to be doing crazy live streaming. I don't do a lot of live streams, but I'm excited to be doing more of them, and I love hanging out with you guys and doing these kinds of things here. So let's talk traveling rock stars. Hello, traveling rock stars. All right, so this is a massive, massive tag, but before we get to it, I really am going to go hop over to Twitter and share this out, because otherwise no one will know, and I'd forgotten I had logged out of one of my Twitter accounts, so we're doing it via the phone. You guys like this? This is my, like, Valentine's Day phone case. This is not, by the way, the liquid ones. I've had the liquid ones that glitter in them that have been causing crazy burns on people, but ugh, scary stuff. Who knew phone cases were so dangerous, you guys? Anyone? So I have been thinking a lot about travel recently. I'm trying to decide where I go next. What do you guys think I should go next? And if I go somewhere, I know you all love it when I go and I check out like places full of cute animals. Let me know who you think or what cute animals I should check out. So I'm hopping through the thing. Da-da-da-da live stream. It's weird to see yourself on the phone live, but there I am. Copy link, going to Twitter, doing this the long way. Next time I won't. Sorry, guys, for the delay. The tag's really cool, though, that we're going to be tackling today. So, live, Travel Tuesday, live, Travel Tuesday, live, hashtag Travel Tuesday. TMI. Travel tag. All right, so enough of that. Now we are ready to roll. Voila, tweeted. All right, team. So there we are. And so what are we going to do today? Talking about the Travel Tuesday and the travel tag. Let me get to the questions. So I haven't done a tag with you guys in so long. I feel bad about that, but I mean, busy. Have you busy? You busy? You probably busy. Everybody's busy. Let's see here. So it's a huge tag. The first one, what was the last country you visited? So the last country I visited was Japan. I just kind of lucked out on that one being good and far away. Last city I was in was Edmonds, Washington. That wasn't Seattle. How many countries have you visited? Ooh, probably something like 6. Yeah, 6, 7, something like that. Not as many as I'd like, but I've been really, no, it's got to be more than that. Probably closer to 15. Not as many as I'd like, but a number of really wonderful places. And a lot of them are like trips I didn't know I was going to take. I've often found myself in traveling situations where I could go somewhere I didn't know I could go, like suddenly. So that's always exciting for me. Let's see here. What is your favorite place on the planet that you've been to? That is a question that changes for me all the time because I love traveling so much and there are so many places I like to go. Recently, I mean, I feel like I'm in like this huge Nara kick right now just because I've been posting so many videos across all 3 of the YouTube channels about Nara, Japan, and meeting the deer there, and like going on a search to find the Great Buddha, which is on this channel. But like my favorite place in the whole world. Well, here, let's talk about this. The first time I ever went internationally traveling in a like a really big fancy trip way, that was Austria for me because it's so beautiful there. And because I found all these like really small moments and small things in Austria I really loved. Like there's a place where you can refill your water bottle just in downtown Austria off of water that comes right off the mountains. And you can just like hold, a canteen, and it is the freshest. It like, if you were never into drinking water and then you drink water in like downtown, it's like amazing. So I really, really loved that. And just so strikingly beautiful. Yeah, that would be like one of them. I don't know, my favorite place in the whole world. And then there are the favorite places in the whole world that are like bookstores. Like I really love Shakespeare and Company books in Paris, in France. And I really loved my trip there because I saw it. I had climbed to the top of Notre Dame, and I had told myself if I just so happened to run into Shakespeare and Company, I would go. The trip wasn't really about me, that particular trip. It was like a trip we were taking my mother, and she was like experiencing Europe for the first time. And what ended up happening is we just happened to run like from the top of Notre Dame. I could see down below, just as I was like staring out of the city, there was Shakespeare Company like right across the river. And it was such an exciting time for me. And it was so like totally wonderful and really amazing to get to see that just appear like out of the mist. So that was really, really fun for me. Lots of places are my favorite place. That's like a travel person rule though. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Like maybe do you have a specific place that you really love to travel? Let me know. I'll hop into the comment space here. All right. What is your favorite place in your home country? So my home country is the US. What is my favorite place here? Well, it's sort of, in a lot of ways, it's Seattle, and that's a lot of how I ended up being here. But like that's a little like cheaty. I'm like Amara in Seattle sometimes, and here I'm Amara not in Seattle. But Seattle's a big part of my life. My favorite place in my home country that is not Seattle. I've lived so many places. It's like choosing children. So many of them. Maybe Oregon somewhere, or Powell's Bookstore. I figured it out. Powell's Bookstore in Portland, Oregon. That is my favorite place in the whole world. That is not where I live currently. I mean, my favorite place in the whole country that is not where I live. But it's one of many places. I'm so happy that questions like this, like what's your favorite place, like that I always have trouble choosing. It's never that I have trouble figuring out one. It's always that I have trouble choosing. So I think that's a pretty great problem to have as a travel person. Let's see here. If you could board a plane now, where would you go? Ooh, if I could just randomly hop on a plane, Machu Picchu. I've always wanted to go to Machu Picchu. That would be really exciting. Or Cambodia. Or listen, it's like, where would you go? All the places. All the places. Is the ticket free? I'll go anywhere. Oh, maybe I'd go see my friend Mark in Grand Cayman. I don't know. Lots of options. Who knows? But I would go lots of places. I'd love to go to China too. It was really cool. I recently was in both the Hong Kong and the Shanghai airports. And it's interesting to be in an airport that's in a foreign country that you've never actually spent time in, because you can see the country, but you can't like get to it. Or I couldn't, because I had like really moderate length layovers. So it was crazy because I could see China, and I was like, oh. In fact, the second flight was on a teeny tiny plane. It landed, and then we got out of the plane, and you had to board a shuttle. So there was this little chunk of time where I was like out of the plane, and I was like actually in China and not in the airport. And I was like, oh, unexpected. I'm in China. Oh, like I'm actually out in China's like air and, like in what counts as China's non-airport space. And then I got on a shuttle and got back in the airport. But it would be cool to see China. My friend Carly recently went to China and she said it was awesome and she wished she'd been there more. I would go to China with Carly in a New York minute. Let's see here. She's a Seattle YouTube creator. Carly Smashes Ivory. What's your cup of tea? Tropical island getaway, snow bunny break, or there's a third option that got cut off by the fact that I cut the link and used a screenshot. Mysterious. What do you guys think the third one is? It's like, let me see. The third option is, or city exploring trips. Well, you guys have seen it. If you've been part of the channel for a long time, there's a lot of city exploring trips that are part of what we do on Amara in Seattle. So that's a big part of the channel in general. However, I love all of those things. I've never really done a tropical island getaway. I really do hope to go see my friend Mark at some point because he lives in Grand Cayman and they're like giant turtles and I'd like to see that. It's Shrizzle, Srizz, I think IL. I think that's it. We'll leave a link below. He lives in a place that always looks really beautiful in like footage, so I'd love to see that. I'm interested in a tropical island getaway. I'd love to do a tropical island getaway with like a noir theme, or do something that's like an adventure there that's a little like Agatha Christie, a little Sherlock Holmesy. I just recently on the main channel on Amara in Seattle, I had a situation where I went looking for cookies late night with a friend because we wanted to have like a little tiny like travel adventure and to give some tips on like how to do travel adventures like in or just adventures in general when you're in a small place and you don't have time for something grandiose. And we did this adventure, but it was late at night, so the whole thing, and it was raining, so the whole thing felt very noir. So I'm kind of in this like noir kick, and I keep running into things that are like Sherlockian. Oh, that's something I'd really like to do. Is I've recently gotten really enchanted with the idea of going to England and going to find like Sherlock places. I think that would be really fun to pull those things from the books and then from the TV show and from movies. What are, oh, and the snow bunny thing, I grew up in Wisconsin some, so I've been around snow, but I've never been to like a traditional snow ski lodge, and I think that would be interesting. I'd totally be interested in seeing that. So the answer to all of these is all of these things, but I would be, what's really my cup of tea is exploring in cities, because that's kind of what I do most of the time. What are your top 3 hand luggage must-haves? Hand luggage. One piece of hand luggage. I don't like to travel with a whole lot of luggage. I'm guessing this might mean like, what do you put in your hand luggage? Yeah, that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about, because I really tend to try to be like a 2 pieces of luggage maximum traveler when possible. So my things I have to have in there besides all the tech, so I can do stuff like make videos. The other things I really like to have in my luggage is I really enjoy having like a snack that is portable and like can get through security. So I like to have that if possible, because I think traveling, you never know. You never know when they're not going to feed you what you thought they were going to feed you, or when your flight's going to go long, or you're going to feel unsettled by turbulence. So I try to keep food, some sort of small bit of food if I can. Other things I really like to have, I recently have taken a shine to making sure I stay really moisturized while I travel. So like a little bit of lotion that is good for like face and hands, mainly areas that are just going to be exposed during the duration of your flight. That's really fun. And then in that same vein, or not so much fun, but like it's really useful to have. But in that same vein, I'm really in favor of lip gloss. Lip gloss is an absolute must with me. Oh, and you know what? Because those are all kind of like moisture products. Let's go with also headphones. Because when I can, I like to listen to music or podcasts or something, specifically when the turbulence is bad. When you can. I was on a Condor flight recently. They wouldn't let me put my headphones in. Was not my favorite facet of that flight. Let's see here. Any travel tips to share? I have so many travel tips to share. I think I have videos of travel tips here. One of the biggest travel tips I have is to make sure you stretch before and after being on a plane. It's really good for your body, even if you're not a person who necessarily thinks about stretching all the time. You really are in a confined space and you don't move a whole lot, and you'll probably have a better time, like being on a long flight, or even where you get off the plane and you go out into your travel adventure after you're done being on the plane. You'll probably have a better time if you've done that prep work. So just kind of like how fitness is more beneficial for you when you do it a whole lot, similarly, stretching is good to be doing in preparation for a trip, during the trip, and like after the trip. So that the trip itself is good and flexible. Let's see here. Most embarrassing moment abroad. Hmm. I'm trying to think if I've ever had a situation when I was abroad that I felt really embarrassed by. There are definitely times where I've tripped up, but I think one of the things that makes the way I travel special is that I don't have a problem with the fact that I'm not going to be perfect. So, yeah, okay, it's sort of embarrassing sometimes when you try and use the language and it doesn't execute quite right, or you think you've got the pronunciation of a word right and it doesn't really work out. But I don't really see those things as embarrassing. I recognize that, like, they could be, but I really think that I find those things to be, more than anything, the opportunity for like growth. So I don't really think of those things as particularly embarrassing. I don't know. Do you guys think of that as embarrassing? Like when you step on your words when you're in another country? Because I can see how it is or how it should be, but I don't find it to be embarrassing personally. Let's see. Biggest disappointment. Hmm. You know, I don't think that I've gotten really disappointed while traveling, and that's really lucky. Like I'm feeling like this tag is really reminding me that like I've had really wonderful travel experiences. I think that's about perspective though. There are definitely things I haven't achieved while traveling that before the trip or while I was planning the trip I thought I would. But I think travel requires enjoying travel as much as you can requires an element of being willing to let go of things that aren't going to work out and going with the things that happen to you. You know, you always envision things in one way, but sometimes they don't turn out that way. But specifically when you're in a place that isn't home, or a place that is challenging because you don't speak the language, or because you could get lost easily, or for all the reasons that foreign things can feel different. I think being willing and open to being flexible with those things is the difference between being really disappointed that you didn't do a thing you were going to do, and being really happy you were a person who had a unique opportunity that you went with when it presented itself. So that's kind of the way I view travel. Um, Big disappointments. I mean, the only thing that came to mind when I thought about it was the luggage disaster I had in London. They lost my luggage the last time I was in London, and I didn't have it for like a day and a half. And the part of that that was hard wasn't really that I couldn't survive having the same clothes on. I'm like, that's fine. You're traveling, it's fine. But what was challenging about that was that I couldn't go out because they couldn't contact me to return my luggage to me. So that was really challenging because I felt like I'd traveled all the way to London and I was just kind of like sitting and waiting and not really sure what I was waiting for or what was going to happen. But I don't know if that's a disappointment. That's a frustration. That's a travel frustration. And that's one of the biggest I've ever had to deal with. So that's very thankful. So I've heard stories about people have all kinds of things that have gone weird or strange with travel. But that's something. Nicest surprise. So many things. I'm gonna do a whole video about this, but at one point unexpectedly, an owl happened. And that was really exciting when I was traveling. So one of the nicest surprises I've run into is a like a pop-up owl. That was pretty exciting. 3 places at the top of the travel bucket list. So many places. So I mentioned some earlier, like the places I'd go right now. Machu Picchu is definitely on there. I just got enchanted with it at one point. Top places, Scotland's. I've never been to Scotland and I'd really like to go. I spent a little bit of time in Ireland once and actually some time in Wales, but I've never been to Scotland and I'd really love to go there. I'm interested in going to Turkey. I don't know that much about Turkey, but I have a lot of friends that really recommend that, so that's up there. And ooh, you know what? This one's a little closer to home and a little like easier because theoretically I could just drive there. Canada. I would like to do a little bit of exploring in Canada. That's something I have a number of creator friends in Canada, and moreover, there's a lot of like Canadian things I that are like kind of standard Canadian things that I've never done. Like I've never been to a Tim Hortons, which is silly, but like is a thing. It's like when you go to Boston, you've never been to Dunkin' Donuts. It's, you know, exciting. Or if you, I would say if you come to Seattle and you've never been to Starbucks, but Starbucks is absolutely everywhere. But the same kind of thing, like going to a place where it's from or where it's utilized locally. And yeah, Tim Hortons is a thing. It's just a thing. I don't even really like donuts. I just, as you guys know, I like to quest. I like to quest for things. Go check out the midnight cookie quest on Amara in Seattle on my other channel. I have 3. Oh, I have 3. Just so you know, you're on Amara Not In Seattle. This is a travel channel where we get lost in travel. There's also the channel Amara in Seattle. That one is the lifestyle channel. It's the one that kind of launched this whole brand situation where we do lifestyle as an adventure. There's also a vlogging channel that's called Amara in Seattle Vlogs. I think of that like DVD bonus content, bloopers, extras, stuff that didn't fit on the other 2. Let's see here. Favorite food discovery. You know, when you go looking, I don't know, does anyone else do this? You go looking for a place when you're going to travel there and you go looking around and things that have to do with it. And you get like enchanted with like a food or a restaurant or something you see in Instagram or in a blog post. I love this question actually. Favorite food discovery. Fish and chips in paper in England the first time. The first time I got a proper fish and chips from a chippery. That was really not because I had never had fish and chips before. I mean, I live in Seattle. I live in one of like the most foodie world. But it was really exciting for me because of the fact that it was such an authentic experience that felt like such a thing that people kind of do when they're in London or that you see when you watch videos from London. I remember distinctly the crinkle of the paper when he put the paper to make the cone that the fish came in. And that's where I got excited, right? It wasn't, I mean, I was hungry. I was real hungry at that point. You walk around London enough, you get hungry. But hearing like that fish and chip cone become like a thing, that was really exciting. I had a similar experience actually with fries, with frites, with the big fries that you get in Amsterdam the first time I was there. Similarly, it was just kind of like, this is that moment where a concept I've heard of or a travel idea becomes real. It like becomes reality. And that's so rewarding and so awesome. I'm really liking this tag. I don't know if this gal, if Samantha created this tag, but it's a cool one. I'm going to have to, honestly, I'll be real candid with you guys. I haven't listened to her video. My plan was to shoot these tag questions and then share them with you. And then I would go watch this and like share with her and let her know that I'd done the tag. But this is super cool. I'm really enjoying this. Like they're interesting questions. Sometimes with tags, the questions are all kind of in a similar vein, or you feel like you keep repeating yourself. It's like when you listen to interviews of celebrities, it's like the same thing over and over again, same kind of deal. But I'm happy to say that a lot of these are exciting new, and I hadn't read them beforehand. I glanced at them, said, yeah, those look interesting, and then just kind of decided to do this. Why do you travel? Oh my gosh, it's like a whole book. People, the short form answer to travel, why I travel is people. I love meeting people and having interactions. I love the one-on-one moments you only get when two people from two different places start to share culture and start to share their lives in really small or big human ways. I think that's really amazing and really special. So the short and long form answer to that question is people. I also really love experiencing things that you can't experience at home and learning words that maybe don't even exist in your language. I think that's really amazing about traveling. And I love the very small different things that happen when you go to other parts of the world. Like one time I was in Japan and I was just astonished. The first time I was in Japan, right out of the airport, I found a manhole cover and it just looked really different than manhole covers I'd ever seen before. And a bug landed on it, and it was a bug that looked unlike any bug I'd never seen before. And because that, it was just kind of like stepping off into some sort of like dream space or wonderland because it was so new to me. Not because it was like fictional, but because it was not my reality until that moment. So I think that's really cool. Which, interestingly enough, I did have a Wonderland experience while I was in Japan the last time, where I ended up in finding my way to Wonderland via Kyoto. You can find that on Amara in Seattle. That video too, the Wonderland video. Let's see. So, dun, 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 dun. What 3 things would you take traveling if you could? Ooh, people. Is that fair? Does that count? Like if I could just have an idea for a travel experience and just drag a friend along, that would be great. I think it would be really wonderful to be able to just take people traveling. Because it's just so rewarding. I'd love to do that. You know what I'd really love to do is just travel with creator friends. Man, that would be great. Like 2 creators go to this place. YouTube Red. This is a banner idea. Sending small creators places together and creating a show. It's great. It would be amazing. It would be super interesting, I promise. No, but like 3 actual things I wish I could take traveling. I always wish I could bring more things to give away that are from where I'm from. So like if I didn't have to deal with it, if I could take a giant suitcase of, Butterfinger bars if I were to go to New Zealand, or because I had a friend from New Zealand that really was shocked and amazed that Butterfinger bars were real and not just like a thing from The Simpsons, or books. I would take things to bring to share moments with. Other things that I take with me. It would be nice if I could take a whole bunch of tech with me easily. If like you could easily ship your laptop, your computer, a gimbal, like lighting, like if you could take all of those things, that would be really great. And my third thing I wish I could bring with me, this is a cheating one, but I wish I could bring a pop-up, just small place. Like if I had the ability when I traveled to like generate like a cool, regionally appropriate Airbnb, that would be amazing. With like a stocked fridge full of water and a little bit of food, but not like a crazy amount of food. So you still go out, but like enough that if you forget to eat or you can't, you do. That would be what I would bring. So a lot of mysterious things. Yes, I would bring a self-generating Airbnb so that I could just kind of always have a comfortable place to stay that had a little bit of like theming for where I was. That would be super fun. I love how I go for Airbnb. I could have gone for like, I would bring like a wonderful, grandiose, amazing place to stay, but I'm like, not like just a place. That like a nice bed is nice. I always think of those kinds of details as being secondary to getting to travel. So it's nice to do those things, but it's not what I'm generally always looking for. So don't know. That's kind of that. Have you picked up any phrases from traveling? Yeah. La famille suricat. Suricate. It's Meerkat Manor in French. I saw a big poster that said Meerkat Manor. I thought that was super funny. La Famille Suricate. Like, it's much grander. Plus, it was like in the tube, so the poster was like wall to ceiling, 2 stories or something, not even, but like big. And I thought that was really fun. Other phrases. I feel like I pick up phrases all the time when I travel, but it's hard to recall them. I often also pick up concepts that don't exist other places, without butchering lots of language. But yes, the answer in a yes no form, have you picked up any phrases from traveling? Definitely. And a lot of those phrases or concepts that I've picked up from traveling are things that impact the way I view the world now, which is great. It's another reason I love traveling. Another reason. And just so you guys know, the reason I'm not doing wild arm gestures, the laptop is sitting on top of a notebook, on top of a filing box. And as it keeps rocking back and forth, that's because I'm worried it's going to slide into my lap. And you guys are going to get like a really cool Amara nose vision. Everyone's dream. No, not really. Let's see here. What 2 places would you not go back to and why? There are lots of places I wonder if I will make my way back to, but I don't know what the future holds. There aren't any places that I'm like, I'm done with this. That place was rough. I mean, the place that comes to mind when I think of places I really don't necessarily want to return is Arizona, which is where I actually went to college. And that's just because it was an environment that was hard on me. But I wouldn't mind, the longer I've been away, the more I've thought, yeah, it might be nice to go back to Arizona and do like a little trip and take some pictures. And as long as I didn't have to stay, I think that would be good. Yeah. There's never like no international travel that I've ever done where I was like, this place is a place I don't want to return to for sure, which is wonderful. I hope I never find a place where I think I don't ever want to be here again. There are lots of places I wonder if I'll ever get to again, like Verona. Verona was beautiful, but will I end up in Verona again? I don't know. If it was an option, I'd love to go back, but it's not like a thing. I wouldn't go, oh, I'm going to fly across the world to go to Verona since I've been there before. But if I was on a trip and I was like, oh, or we could spend a day in Verona, I'd be like, that'd be amazing. Verona's beautiful. So I don't know. Not any that I can think of that are like totally off the grid. No, I'd never do that again. Ooh, there was sparkling between the various. It's funny because I've got the broadcast, the Google Hangouts broadcast stream window right here, and I also have like the YouTube window right there because I just like to see if there's any live chat. I don't have anyone else watching my live chat, so that's good. Dream travel companion. Somebody who is ready to hit the ground running. Somebody who's not going to get too bogged down by being uncomfortable when like simple life pleasures and like simple life comforts are not available. So somebody who's going to be cool when you don't have time and you don't have a way to wash your clothes because you're traveling in a way that there isn't, to do that like every day, or you're not always going to have like fresh clothing, or when you don't have the opportunity to do some of the things you really just don't have the opportunity to do when you travel a lot. So somebody who's really flexible to those things, who is willing to try things out, to go to a place that's new or interesting, or they're curious about, or that I'm curious about, who will have a good dialogue with me about that. Really, yeah, people who are open to experiences, that's a big part of being a good traveling companion, in my opinion. And somebody who will do a good job of taking care of themselves, meaning that they don't just like eat junk food the whole time, and they recognize that you have to eat well to travel well, you have to drink a lot of water to travel well. So all of that kind of stuff. But really just like somebody who's good at self-care, which is, by the way, like something I think people should work on if they want to travel. Like it's a strange thing to think about really, but self-care should be part of your, like, how am I going to get to travel? Well, I'm going to become a person who is really healthy and really can take advantage of the time when I go somewhere. It'll probably also help you get through work so that you can travel if you work to have the finances to travel, which is what I do. It's not the only reason I work, but it's one of the reasons I work. Some kids outside. Let's see here. Most surreal travel moment. One of the more surreal travel moments that's happened to me in the last year was when I realized all of my, like a whole bunch of people I met online were real and like in a room together and they were from all over the world. That was a travel moment that for me was just like the simple hop from Seattle to Anaheim for VidCon. But like for all of them, it was the trip from England and the trip from Scotland and the trip from other parts of the US, from not just LA, but Arizona in the case of somebody. And just all these people from all over the world that the internet brought together. It was just such a moment for me, so important to me. I actually, if you want to scroll through my Twitter, not my Twitter, if you want to scroll through my Instagram, there's actually a picture of all of us. And it was just a moment where I was like, the world, it's like if I could just push through the screen right now and say, hey, what's up? Like give you like a high five or like, you know, but it happened like real life. The whole world was standing at my doorstep at one point, and having that happen in a travel setting was amazing because travel is something that happens both like in front of you and is something that happens that you're part of. There's the part of travel, right? Where there's a part of travel in my life, which is I watch all of the videos from people who are going places and doing things. And in a way, those travel experiences are partially my own. Just like when you write a book, you finish the book and you share it with the world. When you create a video and you finish that video and you share it off to the world, you enrich the travel lives of people and they take those things and they make them part of their experience. So that's something that's been really special to me. So there's that. That moment was really amazing. Lots of surreal travel moments, or like the first time I actually saw the Eiffel Tower, because you just kind of, you're stunned. It's a real thing. It's not just like Christmas ornaments and like jewelry and a thing in movies. It's like a real thing. Another moment that was like that I've mentioned on my bucket list, one of my Japanese bucket list videos on Amara in Seattle, was getting to see the Great Torii. That was a really surreal moment because I didn't know I was going to go. And then my good friend Charlie took me, and I was just like, you know, there it is. But I'll tell that story at some point on this channel. I have a lot of video footage of that, spoilers, in the future. So hit subscribe if you haven't already, because much more travel from the last year and from before that and in the future is coming to this channel. And it's gonna be so good. I love traveling so much, guys. I love it so much. Okay, 3 people you would like to see do this tag. Oh, the important part. Let's start with 1. Miss Dania Aosi. Aosi. Oh, I'm the worst at last names. Dania, you know who you are. My future podcast princess. We're gonna actually do a pop culture podcast together called Oh No, I Love That. Or is it just No, I Love That Too? No, it's just called No, I Love That Too. Let me double check that because I will mess it up, and I don't want to mess it up. I want you guys to subscribe to the wrong Twitter account. That would be disastrous. It would really just be like for a thing for a while, but you know, disastrous. It's called Hey Amara, what's your podcast called? No. The reason I don't know is because we changed it recently. Double checking. Mm-hmm. Tweets I've been involved in. Managed to log into Twitter. That's good news. Do. Oh my gosh, I've been tweeting so much, you guys. Dangerous. Oh, I love that too. OH. So at OH, I love that and the number 2. That's the podcast Danny and I are going to do. So you can, if you love pop culture and you love the idea of friends talking about their history, watching TV shows, if you've ever gone, man, I really wish I could have the experience of hanging out with 2 friends as they discuss and become better friends through television. That's what's going to happen, because we were doing that before we were recording it. And then it was such fun. We had such fun talking about the experiences we had. We said, we should have a banner podcast. So that's what we're doing. So Dania, I tag you because you are a traveling girl in your bones. I know that because we're buddies. So taggity tag. I'm also going to tag, let me see, some of my travel YouTube friends. Let me hop into my subscriptions really quick, you guys. Jamie, I'm going to tag you in here, because Jamie is a great community leader when it comes to various like YouTube-y things. And I see her all the time. She's just bringing the travel fire all the time. Let's see here. I don't know what Jamie's last name is off the top of my head. But Jamie, I'm going to tag you. Fine. I will check via Facebook. I know I should have done all this prep ahead of time, you guys. Oh, it's Banks. Her last name is Banks. Miss Jamie Banks, consider yourself tagged. So she's tagged to do this wonderful YouTuber tag. And then the third one I'm going to go with is, I mean, besides all of you, because you all are, of course, tagged to do this, let's choose somebody that I only have met 1 or 2 times. Let's go with, see here. Fun with Lou. Fun for Lewis. I'm kidding. No, Lewis is too busy to be doing travel tags. What amazing footage that guy makes. Let's go with my friend Miranda the Adventurer. So those are the 3 I'm going to tag here for this particular tag. But really, it's a tag. I took it without being tagged, so you are free to do the same. If you have found your way to this tag, it is a fun one. It's got great questions, and it's made me think a little bit about my travel experiences, which is a wonderful way to end a Tuesday night and a great way to be starting live streaming with you guys. Thank you so much for being part of it. I'm going to hammer this out so that I'm not doing live streaming based on a laptop on a folder on a other foldery thing. I'm going to get this whole thing set up so it'll be like much smoother with better lighting and all of that in the future. And we will try and make sure we integrate live streaming into the mix, into the Amara in Seattle mix of what's going on here. But I'm really glad you guys could join me for this adventure. It's been fun. And I hope that you all are having a wonderful Travel Tuesday and working towards your travel goals, or that you're in the middle of them right now, traveling adventures. That'd be so cool. If you are, let me know where you want to go next. Let me know where you want me to go next. And let me know if you've heard of a travel adventure that you think is right up my alley, or something, you know what, even more, let me know if you can think of something you don't think I'd like to do while traveling. That would be cool too. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to just hear more and start a dialogue about travel, because it's such a big part of my life, as if that's not clear from all the talking I've been doing. Anyway, as we say in all of my channels, best adventures. So best adventures, my traveling rock stars. I hope you all are getting lost in travel. Happy Travel Tuesday. This is Amara, not in Seattle, even though I'm also Amara in Seattle. And I'm actually in Seattle, but I'm Amara not in Seattle because this is the Travel Channel. Bye, guys. Bye. Button, 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 button.